fewer.
Pricing is over, but at Phil Long Ford in Motor City, American value still means something. Colorado's best season, Phil Long's biggest discounts of the year, 0% financing, no payments for 90 days, and I'll throw $1,000 towards your down payment. Plus, get a complimentary 2-year premium maintenance plan.
That's the Phil Long way.
We'll beat any deal by $750, and we'll prove it only at the original Ford store in Motor City.
Good morning, crew. It is Thursday. It is July 30th. I'm Matt Meister. This is Peaks to Plains Weather. This is Mornings with Meister. Been a long couple days. I am feeling it this morning, so I'm a couple minutes late. I apologize for that, but thanks for being here, starting your day off with me. I have the Zero Dark 30 in here from American Classic Coffee, and it's the high caffeine variety. I need it today. If you haven't tried their coffee, could I suggest that you do? It's delicious. I just love it. Spence does such a good job. I'm a big fan of. He's a patriot. He's all about America, and he's about having good cups of coffee. So thanks to him for that. If you got underneath the storms yesterday, you got some good rain. And for the second day in a row, it was too much at the Aspen Acres fire. That's where I start today. And I'm going to take you back to yesterday, about 7 o'clock, 5 minutes before this camera here on the southwest side of town. This is Game Gulch, right before it meets up with South Creek, right near the Pueblo Mountain Park. Things were rolling fast and furious. The flooding was worse Wednesday than it was on Tuesday. And then over the next half hour, things started to recede. There's a wall of water that rolled down through the drainages. Squirrel Creek had some really rough stuff as well. There was what originally was reported as a house that I think was like a tough shed kind of thing, but was 2 stories. So obviously as that was moving down, kind of looked like a house in real time. But propane tanks, power lines, some bridges damaged in the area. And so there's a lot of cleanup out here today. And you feel for everybody dealing with this after the Aspen Acres fire. We knew it was going to be the case, and we've had enough water around this week that we've dealt with it. So the severe weather reports yesterday, cluster of them, had some flooding around San Isabel as well on Highway 78. A couple wind reports, especially off to the east of Denver. We did get one hail report over northern parts of the Wet Mountains. This was off about 11 miles to the north of Rosita, but it was some pretty big hail up at elevation of about 1.75 inches in diameter. And then here's the rain, and you're looking for what kind of divides 1 inch or more from 1 inch or less is the brighter green. And a lot of areas got in on some good rain yesterday. Got good rain in the Springs. It wasn't as heavy as what we had kind of moving through some other areas, but both the peaks and the plains, see what I did there, had some yesterday. There were power outages last night over the plains. We had multiple flash flood warnings across the area, and crews working to get the power restored here into the overnight and early this morning. And so that's where we kind of sit. That sets the stage for where we move forward. So how you guys doing this morning? Pops saying, hey, good morning, Southern Colorado. Julie says good morning. Lisa says good morning. Got some rain near Colorado City at her place. Well, that's good news. Glad you got some, Lisa. And Susan says good morning in Palmer Lake. It's a beautiful morning. It does feel nice outside this morning, but things are going to change a little bit, of course, this afternoon. But let's start where we are right now, if you're about to head out here. A lot of us are within a couple degrees of what we had on Wednesday. We are a little bit cooler on the western slope. That's a little bit of an indication that we are starting to see some drier air nudge into the region. And we've got some low 50s in some of the high mountain areas. So Gunnison's 52, Aspen's 50. The last couple of days we've been in the upper 50s. It's a sign of some drier air. Colorado Springs and Woodland Park were in the 50s this morning. Otherwise, we are starting our day off in the 60s. And it's pleasant outside. Sun's up in Monument where it's 56. Humidity is still high because we've got a lot of water in the atmosphere. Things are pretty green across Colorado Springs, running in the mid-50s at the Air Force Academy. Pueblo, good start to our day. Humidity is also high. Wind is light out there this morning. We're sitting at 65. Canyon a couple degrees cooler than that. Salida is a good start to the morning. Still some areas of some shadow out there, but the sun will pop up over the hills in just a little bit. And Trinidad, looks like my camera's taking a break there. It's 63. Let me see if I can grab the other one. There we go. And a good start to the day. Even want to take you up into the high mountain areas where at Monarch this morning, things are pretty green as we look westward toward the Continental Divide. You see the alpenglow there, the sun getting up over some of the peaks off to the east of the ski area. And we are running comfortable out there this morning. So let's talk about our short-term forecast, and we'll kind of get you into where things are here as we head toward the back part of the week. So you can see that we've still got the sort of southwest flow associated with the area of high pressure. That is going to start really moving westward here through the day today. And so we'll see temperatures bump up a little bit today, maybe a degree or two warmer than they were yesterday. Not a huge change. And it'll still be humid, so you'll feel that. There are a couple areas of some lingering, what we call debris clouds left over from last night's storms. And then as we hit the afternoon, we are going to develop some storms again. I think overall, the mountain areas are a little bit quieter than yesterday, especially west of the Continental Divide. We'll have a couple storms east of there, and you can see some firing up from about Saguache to Salida in areas eastward. And we'll have some storms over the plains. Northeastern Colorado is going to be quieter today. So it's kind of the Palmer Divide to Kansas, and then the eastern slopes of the mountains off to the east is where we'll have the strongest storms. Don't really expect severe weather today. Kind of like yesterday, you know, we might see on radar a storm that for a brief time looks like it could put down some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I think if you were to get a severe thunderstorm warning today, that's probably what it's for. But otherwise, I think the threat of severe weather in terms of hail, is pretty low. These storms are still going to put down good rain today, though. Here's the thing compared to yesterday. It's earlier. So over the mountains and certainly in the cities, it's earlier than what we had yesterday. And even over the plains, it's earlier and we quiet things down quicker than yesterday. So that's kind of what you expect, or what you should expect for your planning purposes and being aware of. I think in the cities, by the time we hit dinner, we're probably doing okay. And you could do something outside compared to last night when we had rain around and thunderstorms. The storms will still put down some good rain. The amount of water in the column is a little less than the last couple of days. So I think it's going to be harder for places to get more than an inch. I think we're kind of looking at ½ inch to maybe close to an inch today. That's because we're starting to see some changes. So as we hit tomorrow, a low front comes in. And that's going to increase the energy in the atmosphere a little bit. So while I think there will be fewer storms tomorrow than what we get out there today, they'll be a little bit stronger. So we might get a storm that produces some hail near an inch tomorrow, and certainly one that could produce some gusts around 60. And they'll kind of move off from north-northwest to south-southeast tomorrow. So if you get hit by one, it might be something that certainly impacts you for a little bit. And they'll put down some decent rain again. In fact, maybe a little bit more rain than they will today. But we again shut things off, I think, pretty early. Far eastern plains should be quieter tomorrow. I think out near the Kansas line, we have a lesser chance of storms. So it's kind of right along the eastern slopes, the cities. And then if you drew a line from about Lyman to La Junta, it's probably where most of the storms are tomorrow. I hope that kind of makes sense. Then we get to the weekend, and things change up a little bit. We'll talk about that in the extended forecast when I come back. You're watching Mornings with Meister on Peaks to Plains Weather. Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&B Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
I'm Catherine.
And I'm Dewey, here with another WaterWise tip.
During summer, do you know why we water up to 3 days a week?
To make the best use of me.
Exactly. It builds deeper, stronger roots and makes your lawn more resilient.
Also, use the cycle and soak method. Try shorter cycles with breaks in between to reduce runoff.
And in spring or fall, you can water 1 or 2 days per week. Be water-wise and your lawn will thrive.
Now that's WaterWise. Learn more at csu.org/WaterWise.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
Another attorney commercial with big promises? Millions of dollars, practicing law 24 hours a day, blah, blah, blah. Let's get rid of the smoke and mirrors. None of that really matters. What does matter? Having a medical doctor as your attorney. That matters.
All righty, crew, extended forecast time here on Peaks to Plains Weather, and there's one thing on water vapor that I want to point out to you. See this out here over the western U.S.? That's some lack of water that as we move into the weekend is going to play a role in our forecast. And so if you want to do some things outside and have some storm-free days, I've got them in the forecast. The high shifts off to the west, and so it'll take a couple days for this to kind of rotate up into the area, but it is going to get here for the weekend, and our temperatures will come up after some slightly cooler temps tomorrow with a cold front that comes in. And so a little bit of a break. I know everybody in Aspen Acres area needs a break. I know the emergency response crews there need a break. I need a little bit of a break. and we get some over the weekend. So as we hit Saturday, you can see that the high has moved off to the west. The circulation back here is bringing in flow from the north. This will be that drier air that's kind of over Nevada right now. We'll start to rotate it across Colorado. And so as we hit the afternoon on Saturday, most of the storms are off to our south. There is a developing wave up on the north side of the ridge that will play a role in our forecast as we head into next week. But it doesn't get here on Sunday. Sunday, we've still got action kind of quieter over the western U.S. Sunday and Monday will be our hottest days. And then we start to see that upper level system get into the northern plains, and then that starts to change things up and brings a cold front into the area by the time we hit Tuesday. But I think the highlight here is what's lurking for the weekend, some drier air set to move in to southern Colorado. So let me show you my extended forecast here. Chance of storms today, chance of storms tomorrow in Colorado Springs. And then we're drying out Saturday. If you want to avoid the heat, Saturday is your day to do something outside. And we get Sunday into Monday. We're pretty hot. Monday looks really hot, actually, before we cool back. And then that front will bring low-level moisture that pushes up against the hills. We get some storms around for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I think we'll dry out a little bit late next week and then kind of maybe have a chance of some thunderstorms as we move toward next weekend. Over our mountain areas, it's the same story. We're drier over the weekend. So if you want to get out a hike, it'd be a good weekend to do some camping. If you're somebody that has things ready to go and you can just throw some stuff into the camper, the pop-up, or you're a tent person, you have some things ready to go, you can kind of do it last minute. Maybe you want to head up there this weekend before we get some storms back into the forecast for next week. And we will see the temperatures come down on Tuesday once that wave moves from the northern Rockies into the northern plains up through the Dakotas. We get a cold front to come in. So after being in the 100s again, as we move from Sunday into Monday, and not as hot as it was last weekend, although, you know, in the last 36 hours, Monday's starting to look a little bit hotter than it was. So I think we'll get some mid 100s out there. A noticeable drop in the temperatures for Tuesday, and then we start to warm back up again a little bit. We may get a day where we get a storm or two over the eastern plains. It'll kind of depend on what the flow is and how the low-level moisture behind the front is interacting with the hills, but we'll keep an eye on that. But there's certainly some yo-yoing here in the extended forecast. So there you go. Julie says, some rain in the forecast, beautiful day, God's faithful, what more can we ask for? I agree. You know, even when things are hard, like folks in the Aspen Acres fire are dealing with here with the flooding, I think perspective is good. Could be worse. Julie, thanks for sharing that. Clinton's on the western slope doing some work. Says it's so hot over in Grand Junction. It'll get hotter here this weekend as we dry out. And then Carol's checking in this morning, and she says good morning. Let me check some of the other chat areas here. Let's see. Got some folks commenting with Mary here on her baby. I've been so busy, I haven't even shared a picture with you. Follow her on social media. You can see her baby. Colin's asking about Springfield for today. Springfield, we can talk about what we've got going on today. We can do that. We'll do that. We'll go back. I know some folks popping in and out here. Springfield today will have a chance of some storms, but like what I said earlier, it's kind of an earlier show. So let me take you to 4 o'clock here in the afternoon. Storms are already rolling east to Colorado Springs, I think, and then out across the plain. So our best window in Springfield will be between about 4:30 and 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and then we'll get things off to the east. I, for one, am looking forward to an earlier end to the storms. So I'm going to try to go to bed a little bit earlier. Crew, that's it for me today. Brad's checking in and says good morning. Brad, hope you're doing okay, my man. Brad running through some health things. Good to see you. And like I said, I hope you are well, and I hope all of you are well. Thanks for being part of Peaks to Plains Weather. Thanks for helping us spread the word. We're doing really, really hard work here to try and be specific and useful with a lot of detail, more than you can get in some other places. I think it's important around here. I really do. Yeah, that's it for me this morning. It's Thursday. Weekend's coming. Have a good day. Thanks for being part of Mornings with Meister here on Peaks to Plains Weather.
Hey, this is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.